Good. We're live. Are we live?
We're live.
We are live. Woo! We are live with the beautiful Katie Brinkley, and this is just a little prelude to what you can expect at the Successful Coach Brand Summit this week. Katie, we've got you in on Thursday, correct?
Yeah, I'm on day 3 talking, surprisingly, social media.
And here we are on Facebook on social media, being social.
I know.
I'm so excited, and I'm a little bit all over the map today. Just it's launch day tomorrow. So
Yeah, it's the day before your summit. I mean, like making sure, I just finished my summit, so I know exactly how you're feeling. Want to make sure all of the T's are crossed and I's are dotted. And then, I throw in there like a random thing like, hey, can you add my podcast link in there too? And you're like, see, it's not like I don't have anything else going on, Katie, but sure.
I left today for that stuff specifically because, little last minute things happen. And I left today open for showing up and chatting with people like you to spread the good news, to talk about what we're going to be discussing this week.
Yeah.
We're hopping on and we're talking about social media. It's changed over the last few years. And I think it's actually kind of changing in a really great direction, that it's becoming more social, more authentic, more transparent. And, I'd love to hear your insights on that too. Like how we tap into that authenticity.
Yeah. And one of the things that we actually talk about in my session is your brand, how you can show up. That is so important now. And you being the face of that brand, hair and a pony and all, hair, t-shirt wearing, what is your brand? And just showing up authentically you makes it a lot less overwhelming. I think, in fact, you and I had this conversation, Anne-Marie, and then I had this conversation with a friend last night about one of my coaching clients. They're really struggling on posting because they're afraid to show up in front of the camera. And whether, I was like, just take a selfie. And they're like, oh, a selfie? Are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, you don't need to have a professional, photography team following you around. Like, you are the brand and people want to do business with people. And that's one of the things about the pandemic that's been so great is that we're used to seeing people show up unapologetically as they are. And that is the brand. So it's a nice shift.
We need to just get over that fear of what we look like, what people will think, et cetera, et cetera. I know I've had to overcome a lot of those fears myself this week, actually this whole month, because I've gone outside of my comfort zone almost daily. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing it and people are loving it. And it's actually given me the confidence to show up and want to show up and actually know how to show up.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, it's just as soon as you can embrace like who you are, then you can put that label on what you're going to offer your clients.
And one of the things too, I think it's a great way to start showing up on camera if you're a little nervous through stories, because people are expecting you to be off the cuff and just be you. And the people that are watching your stories already are following you. They're already connected to you. So this is, your biggest fans anyways that are going to watch you. And if people see it and then
already liked you and they're following you. So
yeah, exactly. And if they've changed their mind and they're like, oh, this isn't what I was expecting, well, then that's fine. Not everyone is going to be, your ideal customer or your ideal community member. And that's one of the great things about social media is that you can pick and choose who you follow and get connected with.
And I've also figured out during the course of this summit too, it's like, you really want to hang out in the platforms that you're happiest in, because then you can be truly authentic. Right. Mm-hmm. So I no longer feel like we have to show up on 6 different platforms and 6 different things. It's just because that gets confusing and thin, right?
It really does. It really does get confusing because then you feel like you have to be everywhere. And I use schedulers, like Loomly is my favorite scheduler, but just because you have the ability to easily share it to all the social media channels, It doesn't mean that necessarily you should, or that a certain type of content's going to work as successfully on Facebook as it did on Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter, whatever. They all have a different way of showing up. So I love hearing that you've taken that step back and really focused in on where
Yeah.
you enjoy creating content.
Well, and how I like creating content as well, right? So I now have my favorite platforms is just Instagram and Facebook and a little bit of LinkedIn.
Yeah, no, and I've noticed you with the uptick of LinkedIn posts, especially during the summit here. So good job to that, because I noticed.
And I know you don't just follow your students, you're authentically following. And yeah, I can't wait for Thursday, well, tomorrow actually.
Yeah. Well, and Anne-Marie, like I'm a day 3 speaker, but I know that day 1, I mean, like you have so many amazing experts in here. You have copywriting, brand strategists, website design, sales, funnels, all of that.
Like we have like all of the elements to help you up level your brands or think about how you're going to show up with your brand in all of the different capacities, because branding is so much more than logos and fonts and color palettes. It's everything about you and how you present your business online. How people perceive you is your brand. Like your brand is doing all the heavy lifting for you. People, those handshakes when they find you on social media. And if you're not looking how you want it to look or how you want it to interact, then it's time to make some changes. And the people we've lined up have really, they're going to help you in all those different areas, because we don't all know it. We're in our own domain, and we need to learn together in community like this summit and come together and learn and grow and network too.
Yeah.
We have 3 daily lives where we've got the guest experts showing up. Tomorrow it's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard. Wednesday is noon Eastern Standard Time, and Thursday is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when you grab the free ticket, you can get links to the Facebook group and join us live and pick our brains.
Yeah, no. And I mean, like like I said, I just finished my own summit and I got so much positive feedback from the live panels. And so if anybody grabs the free ticket to this and only watches the session, you're missing out on a huge opportunity by not joining those live panels. I mean, we had the speakers have a blast in there. You kind of get to know them a little bit more, because they're, with the presentations, that's, more like, I don't want to say rigid, but more educational and formal. Whereas the panels, like everyone gets to share their insights and have conversations. And if you have a question, I mean, like the live panels were some of the best feedback that I got from my summit. So if anyone's like, oh, I didn't even really plan on going, absolutely plan on going.
The live panels too, I noticed like in past summits I've been in, it's an opportunity for all the other speakers to kind of come and learn and share their insights, even if they're not an expert in that area, like where they're struggling, how they've overcome it and things like that. Because when we share those stories, it helps other people learn.
Yes. And I'm so glad you talked about stories, because it is through stories, like through past experiences. I mean, that's why I started my podcast. Like it was to hear other people's stories about what worked for their businesses and so that I wouldn't have to make the same mistake. It was the, like, oh, okay, well, they did this. I'm absolutely not going to do that because it didn't work. I'm going to try doing what they did for success. And that definitely helped me grow my business and scale my business. So the stories and the, hearing the past experiences from people is incredible. And I mean, like a lot of the speakers on your summit are new to my world. So I'm really excited to see their sessions. I mean, like I'm a huge fan of you, Wendy Breakstone. I'm a huge fan of, Julie Butler, huge fan of Sarah, I mean, like you guys I'm all familiar with, but there's so many other speakers on here. We were talking before we went live about, like there's a author of Reach that's on here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never even heard of her. I can't wait to check her out. And I want to get her book now, so like, it's really exciting to be introduced to so many great experts in their fields. Yeah.
to learn from. And that's what's really kind of exciting for me as well. Like, and I'm really grateful that I got to do this with Sarah, because we each have our attributes. I'm visuals, she's words and storytelling, and together we were able to pull it all together.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and it's also, we're bringing two worlds of networks together, and and I think as we through community, we're bigger and stronger, and that's really what I want to build to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that this is a great opportunity for people to grow and to learn and really, like you said, step into their brand. I don't know, we talked about this during my session,
Yeah.
but I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of gal.
Yeah.
And I remember I once had a pretty big client decide not to work with me because I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of gal. And you were like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, I didn't dress, fancy enough. I didn't dress corporate enough, but that's why I started my own business is so that I could show up. I don't feel like I look terrible. I got a microphone shirt on. It's kind of on brand for me because I have a podcast and I do a lot of talking, but you said, well, Katie, yeah, if I were to see you show up like in corporate stuff, it wouldn't feel authentic to me because the way that I see you in your stories and you're a creative. And I was like, okay, yeah. So, cause that gave me such a complex for so long. Like, do I need to dress up to come to the office? Like I'm here by myself. Like, I have a team, but like, they're not here with me. And I feel like I'm still in professional. I get results. So do I have to change how I look?
Yeah.
And it gave me such a, so I think that, our conversation that I'm getting to the point here is when you know what your brand, like if you dress corporate for you and that is your brand, then that's more power to you. But for me, like I show up in stories like without makeup on and in my car with hats on and skiing, and
You
it
need
wouldn't feel like me.
show up authentically is the bottom line, and how you interact with your clients. Because if back in the day when I was shooting weddings, I played that role. I did the whole let's show up in the suit and all the black tie and so on and so on, but that wasn't me or my brand. And
Mhm.
it was, I don't know, 10 years ago, it's like, why am I doing this? Like,
Yeah.
other people think they should
Yes.
pursue this, but that's not who I am. So I kind of shifted to being more artful, comfortable, being able to climb rock walls. Like I have to move and lay on ground. Like when I'm shooting, I'm laying on the ground or I'm climbing a wall or a ladder.
Yeah.
So I stopped wearing a suit because that wasn't comfortable.
Yeah.
I started wearing artful, movable clothes. And
Yeah.
my goal, and that's how I show up. That, like, I show up in how I feel comfortable, how I would do a job, and people have come to know me as that. And so it would be really silly to show up in something that I'm not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, that's hopefully, what in addition to my session, I talk about taking that step back on social media to get more leads. But you have such a great group of, I was going to say women, but there is a couple dudes, but you have such a great lineup of speakers that regardless if it's stepping into your story and into your brand,
Yeah.
the speakers that you have lined up are truly phenomenal to help us make that shift of, embracing us because we are the brand and the people want to buy from people. And how can you do that?
Exactly. And I'm so glad you talked about storytelling, because that's kind of the core of my message, is creating your story visually. And
Mhm.
I think that's a lot of the message from a lot of the other speakers as well, is storytelling and incorporating that into our brands and our messaging, because people connect with story. It's something
Yeah.
to, it's like, oh, I remember, like I had it, like, when they can align a similar something that they can relate to. And there's a lot of that going on in the summit as well, is injecting storytelling into your brand and bringing your
Yes.
story to life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, and And I know we've already gone over a few minutes, but I just want to say too, like, it took me a long time to accept my story and to find it. So I started by helping bands with their MySpace pages, but I was afraid to tell people that. Like, I was like, oh gosh, I don't want to tell people that I did that. That's kind of, I was like, I mean, I wasn't getting paid for it. I was getting like backstage passes and stuff. And my coach was the one that was like, Katie, you were taking, like, that's part of your story.
Yeah.
It's something that, yeah, you weren't getting paid for it. Nobody was getting paid for MySpace back then. We didn't realize what we had, but you have to step into your story and be willing to share it, because someone is going to connect with it. Somebody is. And whether, it's MySpace, or me saying that I played softball in college, or, I got two daughters and we go skiing. There's going to be something that someone is going to connect with, and they're going to say, oh, really? I love skiing. I live in Colorado too. We go skiing there all the time. You and I talked about this, moguls, last time, Anne Marie, like skiing moguls. There's going to be something that's going to connect people with you, that they're going to be like, I don't need to buy from you right now, but I connect with them. I feel like I know them. I want to support them. I want to be a part of their community. And the sooner that we embrace our stories and what it is that we do, the further we're going to be able to take our business.
Exactly. And I hear you on that so many times, or so, not so many times. Well, just because as a photographer, I am fairly well networked in my community now, but you never know when that person is going to need your services. So I meet people and they don't book me for 5 years because they're not ready for a session. They have something, but they heard about me from somebody over here, and they saw my work on Instagram here. Oh, they might have gone to my website from my business card, but they're all kind of connected. And then when they are ready, because I've been consistent, they reach out and say, hey, I'm interested in doing. Right.
Or maybe they tell a friend that says like, hey, I need to do a branding photo shoot. Oh, you should use the person that I follow on Instagram, Anne Marie. She's awesome.
Exactly.
Even though they've never worked with you, but they feel like they have, because they know, like, and trust you.
Exactly. Like, so my profession is definitely a long game in terms of showing up, because not everybody needs a photo shoot all the time, and especially like back in the day of shooting weddings, people get married once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
They don't
hopefully
all the time. So it's a definite referral kind of thing, but it's the same as branding photography, and playing that long game and showing up authentically is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's where social media is really going.
Yeah. And I mean, I love that we had the conversation that we did for your summit. I know that hopefully it gives a lot of people a sigh of relief, because it's overwhelm is the most common struggle that I hear, is that I'm overwhelmed on what to post, when to post, where to post, how to post. It's just overwhelming. So I'm not doing it at all. And hopefully our session, or my session with you, where we sit down, it gives people that get out of jail free card, and they have that sigh of relief, like, oh, that I feel like I've been let off the hook. I know how I can show up and how I want to show up now to build my brand.
Exactly. And I want people to grab the VIP pass just for your bonus offer alone.
Well, yeah, I hope they all do. So yeah.
365-day content prompts. It's a whole calendar filled with all the content prompts and all the things you're going to need to know to map out your social media for the next year.
I mean, and this is the thing, it's 365, but after you listen to our session, this content, 365 prompts, hopefully will last you for 3 years, because you don't need to post every day. But if you open it up and you're like, I need to post today and I don't know what to post, this 365 calendar will give you.
But I was looking at it earlier, like just an hour ago.
Yeah.
And, what I found helpful is, even if you don't post 5 days a week, 7 days a week, it gives you the roadmap to figure out what kind of content you want to post each week, and align it with your blog posts, your email marketing, all of it. So it all lines up, and it's a really good direction on how and what to post.
Thanks. Yeah. I hope everyone signs up for the VIP. Honestly, I feel like it's a no-brainer. I mean, you're getting all these amazing sessions for free, but I mean, we were talking again before we went live here on some of the VIP offers, and holy cow, like there's,
Yeah.
I feel like I should have given more because there's so many great VIP offers.
There's over $6,000 worth of offerings in the VIP pack.
Insane. That's
For
insane.
$97. It's epic. I couldn't have,
Yeah.
and it was generosity from all the speakers. It was generously given. It was not really asked for. So I'm really grateful and I can't wait. Thank you for joining me today and hopping on this live. And I will see you this week in the panels in the live.
Yeah. That sounds great. I can't wait to be a part of it. And yeah, again, sign up everyone. If you haven't yet, absolutely sign up now. It's going to be an amazing event and it's going to absolutely help you take your business to that next step. So thank you again for having me be a part of it.
Amazing. Thank you, Katie. This is awesome.